Oh, okay. See how this works. Well, how cool is that? Alrighty. My Hangouts quit working for some reason, so this is testing. How do I sound, whoever's in here? Hello, hello. I'm testing my stream. Who's in here watching? I see 2 people. Hello, hello. Well, hey, thanks, Louise. For some reason, my Google Hangouts won't work. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to change everything. So I'm live streaming a different way for the first time. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. This is crazy. Things don't work. All right. I'm sorry. I'm back. I had a error pop up. Hey, Tina, on my Google Hangouts, and what it does is I got as many live streams as I've had. You guys have seen the live sales and everything. So last night I come on to do my Wednesday welcomes, and I got an error page through Google Hangouts saying too many redirects and empty your cookies. So I Googled how to resolve that issue, and it is a problem. It keeps coming up, and it says, this is what it says on my phone. I'll show you guys if you can read it. It says there's a problem with the cookies stored for the site you're attempting to visit. Solution: delete all cookies in Chrome and restart it. Then check to see if the problem still exists. Well, I went in and did all this, but it didn't work. It still comes up and it won't load. It'll say click to reload, and it keeps telling you to dump your cookies. Well, this does not fix the error. So I kept doing it. I even uninstalled Chrome, reinstalled it brand new and fresh. It still would not work. So for some reason, I can't get in on Hangouts. So I decided to try something a little different. And I allowed YouTube to have access to my webcam, and I'm here a complete different way. But the only thing is, I don't know how this is going to affect my live sales, because I can't invite Nikki to come on this particular panel. She would have to type in the chat room. She wouldn't be able to sit up here with me. So I don't know. I have researched this all night. I can't stand tech problems. It's like when I was younger, I could spend the whole night, fixing stuff like this, but I just don't have the patience for it anymore. But I've Googled it every way I can figure it out, and it keeps saying they've even got videos on it on YouTube. But the cookie fixing is not help. It doesn't help. I even set everything back to default settings. Nothing is working. Nope. Still not working. And then Tech Junkie, let's see what Tech Junkie says. I'll tell you what the error is here in a second. This is what shows up. It says, let me get my phone in focus. You guys can see this. It says error, too many redirects, how to fix Google Chrome. And I even set, because I don't have it set as default. My default's Firefox because I don't really care for Google Chrome, to be honest. I only use it because of Hangouts. So I ended up sending Chrome to my default search engine, just thinking maybe that would help. Well, it didn't help either. But it says if you're a Chrome user seeing error, too many redirects, you're not alone. This happens often, can be temporary or permanently depending on your URL you're visiting and the specific cause of the problem. This tutorial will walk you through everything you need to know about the two directs. But see, this is the bad thing. One site said when they got it, they could go up to the top, because when you go through Google Hangouts, you have this great big long line across the top of your search engine part, where you actually type stuff in. Well, the bad thing is it's whited out. It doesn't let you cut that link. It doesn't let you fix that link. The only thing you can do with that link is copy it. Everything else is whited out. So that didn't work either, because somebody said if you go into the link that, shows at the top, when it actually loads that page, you can backspace it some, but it don't give you that option. You can't even backspace. So, it says Chrome can cope to up to 20 redirects without giving the error, but once that threshold is broken, it will throw the error too many rejects error. Okay. It says the transaction goes something like this. The browser sends a GET message to the web server. The server responds with the 3xx message with redirected URL. The browser acknowledges the message and goes to the new address. Because you're in YouTube, you're going to the live event section, you're loading your live to go, and you hit go live now. And as soon as that next page pops up, it takes you right into Hangouts, because it's got a little dot on your option page that you can go live with Google Hangouts, or you can use OBS or whatever that YouTube supplies. Well, I always have that dot filled in for Hangouts. So then all you have to do is hit go live now, and then the page will pop up and you'll see Hangouts, and then it starts. Well, instead of seeing Hangouts, I get an automatic error. So this is what's happening. And it says a redirect loop is where the browser is sent to a redirected URL, which directs it back to the original URL, which redirects it back again, and so on. It's like it's stuck in a loop. And it says this is surprisingly easy to do as a website administrator. I'll show you what you do to see if the too many redirect errors in Chrome. So you open Chrome, and I did all this. Select the pull-down menu at the top, select clear dating browser and the cache and all that kind of stuff. Heck, I even set it clear back to default, and it's still not fixing it. If that doesn't work, try another browser. Okay, well, see, this is where a problem happens, because Hangouts cannot be used in Firefox or Explorer. It has to be used in Google Chrome. So that doesn't work either. This is such a pain. Now, if somebody invites me to Chrome, I'm going to ask Patty to send me an invite to her Hangouts and see if it lets me access to someone else's. Because right now it's not letting me load it for my own self to invite someone. But to be invited into somebody else's Hangouts, I don't know what it'll do. So I'm not sure. All I keep getting is a reload page, like, when you're disconnected from the internet and you go to use your browser and it keeps saying reload your page. That's what I keep getting. It's not on my phone. You can't do Google Hangouts through your phone. You can do a one-on-one, but you can't do a panel. I can be invited to a panel, but I can't invite to a panel on my phone. It doesn't have that kind of support on my phone for Google Hangouts. I use my computer. And yes, I have uninstalled it, reinstalled it. I have restored the defaults, and I have restarted my computer completely. I've done all that, and nothing's working to fix this issue. Trust me, I've been on it, Louise. Every way I could think of, I've been on it. And it's just weird. It is so weird. I don't know if it will let me show you guys while I'm sitting here what happens. Let me see if I turn this to my monitor. Okay, so you guys can see. I'm actually through Google. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. Hold on, it's crooked. I actually have my cam hanging on the arm like I would my phone. My setup is really cool. I've sat and played with this. Oh, I'm telling you, tech problems is always a pain. And I think as you get older, I mean, it's hard enough being older and learning this stuff, let alone having like basically stay on top of the damn game, if you know what I'm saying. So here's what it looks like, okay? First off, this is what I'll pull up Chrome, show you what I'm talking about. I don't know if it'll let me do it right now, but I'll show you guys. I type in YouTube. Okay, it takes me right to my thing. You'll see where I'm live right now. I go over to the right-hand side and hit Creator Studios. You're going to see another thing pop up. This is where all your videos and everything's stored. So you go to where it says live stream. I don't know if it'll let me do it while I'm in a live, but I'm going to try. Okay, you go to where the events are. I do have OBS partly set up, but I didn't finish it. It's a lot more complicated. Okay, so right now you see me live, but you look up here and you'll see live now right here. And then over on this side, it says new live event. So I'm going to click a new live event. And let's just say, okay, quick using Google Hangouts on air or try camera. So I'm going to go live now. Well, let me put a title in here. We'll put Welcome Wednesday. Okay, let me see if it'll do this. I've never tried to do this twice. Okay, this is what you get. You get this little window that says ready to go. You will now enter Google Hangouts. All you do is click OK. See, this is what I get. It says this page isn't working. Hangouts.google.com redirected you too many times. Try clearing your cookies. Error, too many redirects. And all it gives you is a reload. It won't let you do nothing. It's just stuck on this page. So when you go up here, I don't know if you guys can see this or not. I'll try to pull it down. See how it's got hangouts.google.com. It's got this great big long thing. It'll let you, look, I'll right click. It will not let you cut it. It will not let you undo it. It will let you copy. It will not let you paste. Everything else is whited out. You get select all and you get copy. That's it. So even if I say there was an error even in this coding up here, I can't shorten it to fix it. It's stuck. There's nothing you can do to even manipulate that code up there. The website, code. And it's like, so what the heck are you supposed to do with this page? So you go over here and it says locked and it has certificate valid, cookies 9 in use, site settings. So you click on site settings because this is where your where you can dump your cookies and all that kind of stuff is in this area. Over here on advanced, you go into privacy and security and all this. I went all up and down through here. I changed everything. Like I clear routing data. This is where your cookies and your cache is stored. And I cleared the data. Okay, like it said. Now watch what happens. It goes back to my page to let you sign back in because you just cleared everything, even your sign in. And look, I'm still getting the error. It's not going away. So cleaning the cookies doesn't work. So I went back to the forum and people have tried it and it told them the same thing. So it's stuck, to say the least. It won't do nothing. Hey, Aussie Shooter, over here having tech issues. So what I did with this was to get in here now, there's this window. This is the actual YouTube Live. It kind of looks like Hangouts in a way because it's got your end stream down here and you can see your texting over here. Look how cool that is. And all I did on this was just allowed YouTube to have access to my camera, and it took me to this. And I'm like, okay, this kind of looks like your phone. When you first sign up on your live on your telephone, you go into, you know how you have your phone sideways and you got to type in the title and hit, start. That's what this page looked like. And then it brought me right in. And then OBS is something completely different. This is the OBS here. I have the OBS Studio. I'll pull it up so you guys can see this. If it'll open. Okay. Now my voice is going through OBS right now. But when you use the OBS part of YouTube, this is a little more complicated. This is the part where you got to put the code in. You have to... There's a way that you have to actually put a link in here somewhere to start streaming. And I don't know how to use this. This is a little bit more complicated. And this is the part when you hit just directly into your YouTube, when you hit go live. Mine never did work. So I had talked to a couple people about it and they said it was really, they can't even remember because there was so many steps, but you got to put a codec in here and you got to get this started. And I downloaded this through YouTube. It gives you a couple recommended links, but I don't know how to use this yet. This is kind of like using Yahoo Messenger versus Yahoo Elite, because I had a program called Yahoo Elite I used to use for Yahoo, and it was a lot more complicated with a lot more buttons. That's what this reminds me of. Green Bay Wacky did a video on it, but he set his up a little more complicated. That's why I have a hard time following his tutorial, because he uses 2 different cam sources. He has one pointing, it's something else because he's got like a big background behind him. You ever see the people on YouTube? It got like, something running behind him. He's got like clips running behind his back while you're watching him forward. He's running 2 cams doing that. So that makes it a little complicated for me because I only have 1 cam. But I have to play with the OBS. But a lot of people I find that use the OBS have to switch back and forth. Like, for some reason, you know how we're always having delays with Hangouts? Sometimes Hangouts will work fine, and the people who are using OBS won't use OBS if Hangouts is working okay. But if Hangouts is having a bad lag, that's when they get over to the OBS. But then I guess OBS does the same thing. It'll get a big lag in it, and some days it won't work. So then they have to switch back to Hangouts. I just think YouTube tries to make things complicated myself. You think they would have, like, this here's different. This is kind of like their main streaming, but this has got a big lag to it too. I think everything lags on YouTube. But it's interesting because I've never used this way before. But I got this thing. I'll show you what I'm using. Hold on. I'm going to unclip my camera so you guys can see this. Hold on. This is an arm. You can see my messy desk. This is the arm I use. So you guys know. I bought this off of Amazon. I have no clue what this thing is called. I'd have to go back through my receipts to find it. but I'll take you up and around what this looks like. It's like an arm, and then this here reminds me of a clip that you put in your hair. So this opens like a clip, and it actually holds my phone sideways, or I clip my camera because I have a Logitech cheap from Walmart that I put the cord up over the handle, and then I just take my camera and I clip it into it. That way I can adjust my cam up and down. So I can face it towards my computer, or I can face it down to my mat. So this is like really cool. And it attaches to the side of my table. It's one of those things that's got a bolt in it, and it clips to the side, and I can screw it up, and then there's a little dial on the side to keep it tight on my table. But I have no clue what this thing's called. I just remember when I was searching for this, I kept typing in because I don't want a tripod. Tripods to me get top heavy, and they had, I can't even remember. I think I saw a video of a guy that he used a microphone stand, he used a tripod, and he showed all the faults with them. And I didn't want to go wasting money on a bunch of different items to figure out what to hold my camera. So I kind of like watched his video, learned what not to spend money on. And I went in and I typed something in Amazon, like something to hold my camera, because this can go up and down. I can adjust this. And I think it was something arm. Let me pull this down. There's such a delay on here. I can't even see. It's going to be crooked. But anyways, I wish I remembered the name of this because I don't even have a box to it. But it's cool because I can move this to my kitchen table. Well, hey, Binder. Thank you. And I can hook it to the side of my table because I have my computer all set up on a table. Instead of buying a desk, I had a desk with a little hole in it to keep like all my wires and stuff in one place, but I didn't like it because I couldn't get underneath of it to do adjustments. So what I ended up doing was buying a folding table, like, something you would use at a yard sale. And that way I have my printer on one end and I have my computer hold laid out right in front of me. And then if something needs unplugged or fixed, I could just get down on my hands and knees and it's right there on my table. I like easy access to everything. And this is crooked. I'm trying to straighten it up. And then I bought a desk lamp to I shine it up in the air to give me some more light down here. If I aim it downwards, it gives a glare. So I have it shooting up in the air to, I don't know why this is. Just give me a second. Not cooperating here for a second because this is really not supposed to hold a camera. This is really supposed to hold your phone. But I have my cam hanging in it. And then get this. So I order a laptop because my laptop down in my store is starting to get really laggy. It's old. It was Windows 7 with 10 downloaded over top of it. It runs slow as Moses. I'm not kidding. I'll be sitting there and I'm like signing into Etsy and I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. And it's like, because when you buy a computer in the first place, they have so many programs loaded into it that if you're not careful, you're going to lag really fast. So the first thing I do is I go and clean up all the programs I know I'll never use. I take everything out, and that way it runs a lot faster. And so this went downstairs. Okay, so I thought, well, I'll go ahead and get a new laptop. I deserve one. So I bought one months ago, and here they changed the ports. And I'm like, what the heck? It's like, you know how you had the USB port that's 2.0? They're now 3 point something. I'm like, you'd be freaking joking. So in order to everything that I'm running on the laptop downstairs is a 2.0 plug. So now I've got to go buy cords that's compatible from the 3 to the 2. It's like, I don't know why they keep doing this except to push money, because it's like, why fix what's not broken? So it's like, it's crazy because like the printer, and I like having a mouse. I don't like having a wireless mouse. I like one with a cord. And that's just my preference because it moves faster. Because I've had wireless mouse that have delays and it drives me nuts. So I just rather have a cord. So now, in order to run it, like I have a mouse that came with it, so that part's fine. But like I have all my external hard drives have 2.0. My printer has a 2.0, and it only gives you the option of one 2.0 plug on that, and the rest of it's a 3 point something. And I'm like, this is just ridiculous. It's like every time you upgrade, it's like you got to upgrade everything. So they do have plugs out that you can buy, I guess, as universal. Because I know back in the day when I had my home edition, I have these little green adapters. And one side, I don't know if you guys remember, where they were just a point that you stuck in. And when the USBs came out, they have it to where it's a point on one end and a USB plug on the other. So that way you can have an adapter. I have a bunch of those laying around too. But I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So now I gotta buy new adapters to get that one down in the store to replace my laptop that's junk. But I didn't get to go live last night for that reason. It's a USB like 3 point something, 3.1 or something like that. I don't know. I'd have to look at the book again, but I saw 3 and I was like, no. But it's okay because they do have cords. I found them. They have one that'll plug into the USB 2, and the other end is a 3.0 or 3.1 or whatever it is. But what upsets me the most, hold on, I gotta turn that's my minions going oink oink on my phone. What really irritated me about these upgrades, the biggest change I have seen when Windows 10 came out, and I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about or not, but you people who run off photos. My Home Edition and XP Professional both ran off pictures where I could go to the printing section, and when right before print, it asked you like which photos, and it would open up your photo folder where you keep your pictures, my pictures, whatever it was called. And you could check mark 6 different pictures if you wanted to run off on one paper. What I don't like about Windows 10 is, hey, Von D, is that you can't do that anymore. When I run any printers, and I've tried it on 3 different ones, I have a Toshiba laptop, I have a Dell laptop, and I have an HP desktop. None of them will print more than one picture off on a page. Like, I can take one picture and put it 6 times on the same page, but I can't add no other pictures. And that is such a waste of ink to me, because I used to be able to print multi-pictures off of one page. And the only way that I can pull that off is if I go into my art program and actually make one big picture and then put all 6 pictures in it. Then I can do it like a collage. But there's that check mark's not there anymore. Yeah. And I don't understand why they took that away from us. That's like such a waste of ink, when ink's expensive as it is when you buy a printer. But yeah, like I can pull open, well, I turned my camera down. I don't want to readjust it now because that was a pain, but I can show you what I'm talking about in my art program. Like I can open up, any inch size paper and put the pictures in there, but that's such a pain to have to do that. Hey, Ray Kit, we're having tech talk issues. But I was so floored because every computer I've ever had I was able to do that. Now I can't. And it's like, this stings because I have things I want to print off, like different pictures on one page, and it won't let me do it anymore. And I guess if you weren't a photo person, you wouldn't have caught that. But I used to run off tons of photos and it won't let me do it anymore. So how I've been doing it, Tina, to manipulate it a little bit, I've been taking and running off like a picture down in the corner of a page and then flipping the paper around and reprinting on the same page with a different picture. That's the only way I can do it, unless you collage it into something. And every time I Google, like, is there software you can buy to do that? I'm not getting any answers. It's like they've turned it into where you have to collage all your different pictures to get it to run off on the same page. And then last time I did a tech thing, my HP Envy printer never worked. When I got it, it will print in black and white. Well, I can't say it never worked. It print off like 3 times and then the color quit. So I just went through a tech for an hour with HP. Thank you, Louise. I just went through a tech support with HP telling them what happened to my printer. And it's a driver issue. And then the guy tells me after an hour of talking, the guy that's here that can come in remotely is not here. I said, well, you could have told me that when we started. So I pretty much wasted an hour of my day. I just shake my head at tech support. I do. Sometimes these people just irritate me. So I think personally what happened is when this printer was being delivered to my house, somebody dropped it. That's what I personally think, because it will print. Okay, say I put a picture in it and scan it and print it, it will print in color. It will print in black and white. But off of my computer, it will not print in color. It only prints in black and white. So he had me go through the whole thing of, he talked me through the whole thing of setting everything, to default and all that kind of stuff. I said, listen, dude, when I run a test sheet, color comes off on the paper. When I print off the computer, no color will come off on the paper. So it's definitely a driver issue. There's something wrong inside the printer. There's no doubt about it. And it's just like, but when you go to try to troubleshoot this, that question doesn't even come up, because all it tells you is change your cartridges and this and this. My cartridges were changed, because he even asked me that question. I said, I know you give 2 cartridges, just to get started. And then I had already bought 2. It's just crazy. Yeah, I went through all that. It's monochrome. It's checked like it's supposed to be. And it worked fine. 3 times it worked and then quit. Hey, Chris, how are you doing? But it's just like, I like talking tech. So it definitely does not bore me when people start talking about computers, because I used to sit in the hackers lounge and computer rooms all the time on Yahoo and just listen to people. But I have no clue. So my Envy just sits here looking pretty. I can't use it, except for if I want to scan like off of the paper. So I'll print off of my printer down in my store, and then I'll come up here and scan it on this just to get the ink used up, because I paid a lot for the ink in this printer and I'm not letting it go to waste. No, the monochrome has to be set as a default inside the printing preferences, Brenda. And then once it should come off either color or black and white. It comes off in both, because that's what the default was when I first started it too. And when they took me through the tech support, that was what it was. I don't have a problem with HP printers whatsoever. I actually had one I absolutely adored, and the paper is amazing. The photo paper is way better than Kodak. But I have had a printer before this one that's no longer compatible, because you know how they do that. They update the ink to where it's no longer sold in the stores. And my last printer that I had through HP was amazing. It took, I think, $99 for tricolor, and I forget what the black and white was. And you could no longer get the $99. So then I started ordering it off of Amazon until they ran out. But that's another story, because that printer would print anything, like multiple pictures, anything I asked it to do. So it's not really that it's about an HP printer, because there can be really good printers by HP. It's just I'm not impressed with this one. Now my daughter runs an HP Envy and she swears by it. She loves hers, but mine's just never worked properly. That's the problem. It's very easy because it's got a really nice screen on the front of it, and it's all touch, where I can just touch the panel and do everything I want. It just won't print color. And they kept saying, oh, it's a cartridge problem. I said, no, it's not a cartridge problem, because I've had 2 different cartridges in this and it still doesn't work. I want to get a Brother. That's what I want. I want a Brother printer that does double-sided. No, you have to buy whatever ink you can get for your printer. Whatever's compatible is what you're supposed to buy. Now, we talked about buying it by the jug and redoing it ourselves, but that's just too much, because when I took my A+ certification, even my teacher said the best thing to do is buy them new, because if you over flood it, it can really screw up your printer. And I know what he means by over flooding, because when you look at the bottom of your ink cartridge, it gets all messy. Yeah, but we're not talking about original. We're just talking about what you're supposed to buy that's compatible by number. And once that's up, you can't get it anymore. And when you look at your ink cartridges in the first place, it's the sizes that changes. That's what I think is really weird too. Like if you look at the actual cartridges, it's like some are longer, some are shorter, and all that kind of stuff. It's just crazy. Well, everywhere I have purchased it, there has been no change. Even the auto refill's the same. The only thing nice about auto refill, as far as I'm concerned, is you just get it replaced before you run out. Yep. It's funny, Metro, because I saw, where was I? I was somewhere, and people were naming the biggest pet peeve they have, and it's the price of ink. And I totally get it, because it's ridiculous. Well, hell no. Rohan's here. Look out. He calls me Tummy. Oh, gosh. The rotten boy's here. I have to pick on Rohan. He's hysterical. I don't know if he knows much English, but I feel sorry for him if he does. But, I don't know. But I know when you buy it by the jug, when you buy printer or printing, you pay $90, but you get a huge jug if you know how to refill it yourself. But my thing is, I don't have the patience for that, and I don't want to overflow it and screw it up. But 2 people were fighting on Amazon, and I told this story, Brenda. Oh, you'll love this one. They were into it because whoever was buying up the 99 ink must have been, when they were going out of business, or what was left over in a business. So this seller, you know how you get a question on Amazon and it'll ask you, was the ink good or something like that is what I got this question out of the blue. Because one of the sellers was mad that the other one was getting all the profit because he was selling his a little cheaper, and he kept trying to say it was expired for a couple days. So how could it be worth? I said, just because it's expired a couple days doesn't mean the ink's bad yet. As it's just like food. They give you a sell by date, but that doesn't mean it's an expiration date. It can last a little after the sell by date. Those are two different things. So they were feuding is what was going on. So I was buying the 99 ink, and what happened to my last printer, which really ticked me off, was the second seller, because I don't know who was buying. I just kept typing in 99 ink just to get my ink. He decided to be an a-hole and stick freaking Windex cleaning fluid in it, and it blew up in my printer. I was not a happy camper, to say the least. Amazon got a nice little phone call for me. I'm like, really? Just because two sellers were having fits against each other and they want to take it out on my printer. So I had to go through everything, come out pastel. So that's what I said. I don't trust people that do refills, and I will never buy ink again off of Amazon. So I had to go back through and I had to take a paper towel and clean out that entire freaking printer. It was just nasty when it blew up inside of it. I was so mad at them people. I mean, it was bad enough that I knew I was not going to be able to use it for very much longer because of the ink becoming extinct in the first place without having two idiots even help ruin it. So I just ended up whatever. I still have the printer. I just got to get the day when they have here they have a day where they open up one of our, what do you call it? It's not really a landfill. It's just a place where you can go and you can take all your electronics and stuff and just, for recycling. But it's by the land. It's like part of where your garbage goes, except they do something with your computer stuff. And I got to get the date and the time, and I got to take a bunch of electronics to them because I need to get rid of stuff. I got a bunch of stuff laying in my other room. Oh, yeah, Metro, you run into all kinds of people. But yeah, they ruined my last printer. I was not happy, especially when I was running my store flyers off with that particular printer. And when they all started shooting out pastel, I was like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. And then this smell, and it smelled just like Windex. So somebody definitely spiked my ink. So that's why I've kind of am more prone to buy it new instead of refillables and stuff like that. I don't trust refills now. But my teacher he was pretty wise about stuff like that. He was like, he bought them all brand new just for the safety of, you never know what people are going to do if they're doing it right. But I don't know. So this was a test run, and so far it's working okay. There's a little bit of a delay between, see how long it takes for my book to show. Oh, that's not too bad. It's not as bad as Hangouts sometimes. Give you guys something to look at besides my hands. Yeah, but this here was not ink, Brenda. It blew up in my printer. It definitely was not ink. This was a real strong odor. But that's okay. I wiped it all out and cleaned it up and everything. I'm sure I probably could get that printer running again if I could find the disc, because I still have XP Professional Tower. I use it offline because it does what I like my art program to do. I just wish my printer worked with it. I'd be in heaven if it did. If I could get that printer up and running again, I'd be freaking happy. Totally happy. Because I'd be able to print multiple pictures on one page again. Different pictures, I should say. It'd be nice. But I don't know. But here, Metro, we do I think 75 and 75 XL is supposed to give you more. But probably that was the best printer that I had because I could run off over 100 pages easy, like photos and stuff, and get my money's worth out of my ink. This one here and my one downstairs, I don't get much off of them, and then I have to get 2 new cartridges again. And I think one's like, I think the black is like 20 something, which isn't too bad. It's your color. The color tripod, I think, runs like 35 or something like that. I can't remember, or 39. I'd have to look at it. But I ordered it straight through the manufacturer. I don't go through stores in case they jack up the prices. But I like my HP downstairs. Excuse me. It's a very, I only paid $69 for that printer. It was a Walmart special, but it's for um my labels for my Etsy store. It's not a photo printer. Although I have used it on cardstock and it does okay. But I've never tried to run photo paper through it, but it's not really designed as a photocopier. It was just a simple one where you set your paper in the back of it and it just slides on down through. But I hear a Brother's nice. I want a double-sided printer. I have a friend that has a Brother, and she said you can put up to like 250 sheets of paper in it. It's got a really nice deep tray, and it's a double-sided printer. I mean, you can do double-sided with my one downstairs because I made a postcard on it and I did the front and back, but it's just you have to, get the paper out and turn it around and shoot it back through again. I would just rather have a double-sided just because I'm lazy and I just don't want to constantly flip paper. But it doesn't hurt to have a couple types, I think that one downstairs is I think it's a DeskJet. I'm not sure. And this, I think the HP Envy, I'm not sure if this is a inkjet. Let me see. It doesn't say. Or LaserJet, I mean. I don't know. There's laser printers, so many different even types of printers. Yes, I hate that too, Brenda. Another thing I can't stand is like it'll show more ink that's actually in there. And then you'll start printing something off and then it starts turning purple and it's like, what the heck? Yeah, a friend of mine tells me that they love the Brother that they use. That it's really good. I want because there's different types of Brothers too. There's ones that only type in black and white, and then there's some that does it. But I want a photo one. I want like an all-in-one. Pretty much every printer I ever ordered was all-in-one scanner, printer, fax, and all that kind of stuff. Except this one here doesn't have fax. Like I don't care if I really have a fax or not, but it's mainly the scanner and the photo printer I want. My very first printer was a Lexmark, and I really loved that Lexmark. I mean, it could print out on paper like a real photo. It was a really nice printer. The only bad thing is when you went to print, I think I had Kodak paper with that, and I went to print out a picture, and you could take your fingernail and scratch the ink right off of it. And then when I switched to the HP, that's why I didn't never liked Kodak photo paper. Because when I switched to the HP paper, it never did that. So I was like, yes. But I don't know. We'll see. It's just a matter of trying different things out. But I have heard Canons were good too, Metro. I can't remember who told me they had a Canon. Might have been my oldest daughter that tried a Canon before. But I've never had a Canon printer. I've had my Lexmark and I've had my other HP was my favorite. My last HP was my favorite. And I forget what design that one was, but then the Envy, this whole setup that I have right now was a Cyber Monday special. And I got everything together for a really decent price. But my first two computers were Dells because I could call in and get it specifically made how I wanted them made. And I do like that option too. And I don't have a problem with that. I never had a problem with my Dells. There's some people that'll shoot them down, but how I ran my first one for over 13 years. I never had no issues with it because I maintenanced it myself. And it was wonderful. Even Dell was impressed. When they saw that my computer was 13 years old, I think the first error I had with it, they were like, "Oh my God, you've had this for 13 years and you've never called us." And I'm like, "No, because I went in to take my A plus to take care of my own." And so, I wanted to maintenance it because I hate when people go through my things anyways, and I wanted to be able to do it. So I learned. And then I took and I think it was home edition, and then I went and got professional later. And then I had a Quasar way, way back when it was like floppy disks and all that kind of stuff. And oh God, that's when you had to C prompt everything. But I didn't have that computer online though. That was just more of a gaming that my kids used for fun. I've never had a Canon. I love my Canon camera, but I've never used a Canon printer. And then when I see a lot of people that do crafting on here, they usually have an HP. I seen one big YouTuber that I really love watching. They run 2 HP printers as their laser and regular inkjet, and then the brother was their other. So I thought that was cool. Do you get a lot of pictures out of yours, Metro? Have you used it as a photo printer? I think the most I ever got out of a printer so far was 150 pages before it ran out of ink. I try to push mine to see how many pages I can get. Did you get to see my fate journal that I made that I'm working on for I got commissioned to do this. Nikki wanted me to make it for her, so I'm making her a faith journal. I love this. So far, I've got the signature sewn in and the binding done, and I got her little beads on the bottom. She got a couple pockets and some pages. She wanted it all white. Now I just gotta get all her goodies in here. Look how cute that is. I think I did a really good job on this. This is the first time I've ever done a faith journal, and I did it different. Oh, that's funny because I even still have an adapter for a floppy. I still have floppy. Look, there's I have a USB drive that's a floppy disk drive, and I still have them. Does this look familiar? I don't know why they always call these floppy disks, because to me these are hard. I still have a whole bunch of them. And all I have to do is put the drive into my computer. I plug it in and I can still run these. Hey, Power Girl Nation. I don't even know what's even on these. I think I might have some art on a couple of them. That look familiar, Metro. I got a whole box of them. Oh, that's awesome, Brenda. Is that with your Canon or you're with your brother? Well, that's awesome. See, that's what I'm talking about. A nice value of saving. The more you print and then not having that high, because I have looked up the prices of the Brother cartridges and they're not that bad. I think the Brother one that I picked out was like over $300 though. I just gotta save up the money to get one. It's not that I'll be printing out a lot of photos. I mean, eventually I like to get my grandkids' photos, done, but right now it's more for paper. That's not too bad either. I just feel like right now it's around like the 100 mark for my HP. It's either 100 or lower. I don't I don't think I've ever printed off over 100, and it's just too pricey. And that's just labels. I'd have to start out with 2 new ones and print and see what happens. I call it cussy cut. But that would be nice too, to be able to print some stuff. See, that's just like some of these books are coming up extinct that some of the crafters are using. I'm like, why are you people not digitally saving some of this stuff? I mean, even if it's copyrighted, it doesn't matter if you're just using it for your own personal use, for your own journals. I've got tons that I've been storing here lately just because some of the books are getting harder to find. I love ideals, and some of them, I mean, I've even tried to Google them on eBay and they're like sold out. So, if crafters keep using up all the books, not dissing on crafters, but I'm just saying, if you don't have some of this stuff backed up, eventually it's not going to be around anymore. So I'm starting to back up some of the stuff that I know I'll repeatedly use. Some things I won't, but just like some things I like certain sayings or certain pictures that I probably would use images again later, depending on what I'm working on. Those are the ones I'm saving. Because even some of the crafting paper, they even sell out because they change up the designs all the time on scrapbooking paper. So I've even been taking and scanning those in just to be able to have certain ones. Like, for instance, say you're working on something from the 70s and you find like certain pages that you just know you'll use again if you ever go through that theme. That's what I'm talking about, because sometimes you can't find those paper packs again because they keep changing them. So that's what I've been doing, is I've been trying to start storing them so that if I go to use them again, I'll have them. I'm not rebuying them or going to go looking everywhere for them because they're just not there anymore. 'Cause I'll even see people say a lot of, like, Seven Gypsies and different things like that. You can't find some of the paper packs anymore, and it's like, "Why did you not save some of this stuff?" I've got, like, 4 external hard drives full. As a matter of fact, 3 of them are sitting right beside me of different things that I've been scanning and saving. My daughter, though, she got a default external hard drive. Tell me this isn't sickening, Metro. I bought 2 of my girls an external hard drives, 1 each, to be able to store their pictures on. And one day, my one daughter went to go into hers, and she got this tick, 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 and it just quit working, and she can't get in it. It's like, what the heck is the point of having an external hard drive if it's goes bad? I mean, how do you back up your crap in, you know, a tool that's for that, and then it quits working? So I don't know what she's gonna do, but I think she just lost a bunch of pictures. That's why I always have everything doubly backed up. Like, everything on this one external hard drive is also on the other because I am not taking that chance. That's funny. I would never do that, though. I don't throw nothing away until it quits working. That's just like I was sitting online downloading some of my, daughters got my grandson pictures taken at Sears, and I was downloading pictures for her from the site, and I had a lifetime warranty on a surge protector. But the last house we lived in, for some reason in that area, we kept getting hit with power surges constantly. And one time it finally blew it out. And I remember I was right in the middle of taking the pictures off. We had a storm come in and it knocked me completely offline. I'm like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" And because I was just at the point of getting the last 3 pictures and then I was going to unplug everything while we got hit with the power surge. And it was crazy because I had a friend of mine send me a Linux disk and we did a diagnostics test run to it, and it was an unclean shutdown, so that meant everything was still there. So I ended up getting the SATA drive because it's a IDE hard drive. It's not your, um, you know, your hard drives now, like your updated ones. So I bought my SATA connection and I just tried to open it up here recently as an external hard drive and it will not open because we didn't know what the total damage was because the tower was fried. I mean, I couldn't even reload it inside the tower. I had to dump the tower and then I went on Craigslist and actually found a guy in the town I live in who sold another tower for that particular hard drive. So I tried to fire it up in there and it still wouldn't work. And I'm like, no. So something in it got fried. But I was trying to get the pictures off of it and I just can't. It won't let me. It won't let me open it. I get a tick, 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 tick noise and then it won't do nothing. I still have the SATA drive and all the connections and everything, and I put the ribbon on it and stuff, but it will not open. So my nephew's got my hard drive right now, and I just told him when I get it back, it's just trashed. I can't do nothing with it. But I would have loved to have surprised my daughter and given her the pictures of my grandson, but it won't open. And he's an IT tech and he couldn't get it open, so just won't work. It won't go off into another drive. That's the problem. He doesn't have the equipment to do that particular hard drive, but he just told me he doesn't know because it won't open. So I don't know. I just know that he's got it and I got to get it back off of him. Because I said all I want's the pictures, and then it's not even guaranteed they'll come off. Because one of my friends, he's an engineer, and told me too that sometimes when you go to do something like that, when it goes down, it gets encryptions, and you don't always get your pictures off of it either. That you'll lose some. So I don't know. I told him I still don't really care about the rest of the stuff on it. I just wanted my grandson's pictures. Because I had a lot of different things on there. I had music and all kinds of stuff, but I'm not worried about all that. So I don't know. But he's got it. I don't know what he's doing with it because he hasn't returned it yet. So he might be trying again because I know he's like me. He likes to take and solve issues too much. Actually, when I talked to Best Buy and stuff around here, nobody could get into it. I even called the Geek Squad. And they're not touching it. So there's something not right. Either that or I'm just surrounded by stupid people. That happens too sometimes, depending on where you go. But I know JR is not dumb. So if he can't get into it, there's an issue. Like he either doesn't have the right equipment, like he said, or you cannot get into it. No, that had nothing to do with it because they didn't know where I bought it. I actually made a phone call and just asked an outright question. I didn't say where I bought it at. And they said they couldn't do it. So it's like, whatever. But I don't know. We'll see with time, though, because I'm not getting rid of the hard drive yet because you just never know when something new will come out. Because I'm not really sure of the significant damage. You know, like how damaged it is either. We really don't know. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy stuff. I don't know. All I did was call and ask them. I said, I have this hard drive, and I told them what happened, and they're like, oh, well, we can't do nothing. It's like, whatever. Sometimes I think they just get lazy, too. That's just like even Office Max. I had even called and asked them questions before about certain things. And it's like, I think it was a printer. It was my printer issue. And they don't fix printers. That's what they told me. They don't care if you bought it there or not. They're like, we don't do printers. And I'm like, what kind of a store that supposedly tech stores don't do printers? I don't know. But that's what I got from them. And I'm like, freaking really? Because all I did was tell them what my issue was. It was just, how hard is it to have a person, because they'll do computers, just plug it in and just check to see if it really is a issue with the ink. You know what I mean? It's not that difficult. And they just, nope, we don't do printers. I'm like, okay. So we don't really have anything local that will look at anything. You know, like a store, they don't do nothing. I think the only thing I have close to me is there's a guy down the road that will look at your microwave. That's about it. And I even have 2 of those that quit working. That's what I told my husband. I said, I would like to take him to the guy down the road and see if it's worth fixing or not. Because we had this one brand new, not even a year old, and we had a power failure and it just quit. And I'm like, maybe there's something in there because it didn't blow up or anything. So maybe there's just a wire or something in it. He can look at it. I don't know. Oh, it's crazy. But it's just there's nothing like the old Sears days. You know what I mean? Like if you bought anything inside of Sears and you would take it back, and I hate that they closed here, that you could take anything in and they would have somebody look at it. And if it didn't work, well, then they would just upright tell you if it needed replaced or whatnot. It's like it's so hard to find that kind of customer service anymore. It's crazy. It's like, is something salvageable? And then they wonder why our landfills are getting so overly dumped into because people just don't want to take the time to fix anything anymore. I remember in my old apartment before me and my husband got married, we even had a place there where he fixed TVs. There was a guy below my old apartment. He would take any type of the older TVs and had all these replacement parts and repairs. It's just really hard to find repair shops anymore, at least in my area. Mom and pop shops. This is the first time I've ever been on in the mornings, and I got to catch up on so many of my commenters. Oh, I'm so behind on video watching. It's terrible. Not sure I've got to go clear back to like the beginning. I was doing really good being caught up there for a little while, but I just got so far behind because like when holidays and stuff comes, the month of June is going to be so busy for me. I'm tired. I got to run to the post office yet. I gotta get down to the post office. I got to pick up a package that's waiting for me there. And then I got to come back and open my store. I do enjoy my store though. I'm rearranging. And then my vacuum cleaner quit. I just been having all kinds of electronic issues here lately. My store floor needs vacuumed so bad it's awful. It's carpeted, so it's not like I can use a broom and really get a good sweep off of it. But I got to get downstairs. I'm gonna have to take my vacuum cleaner up here and use it downstairs. So I have two of them. I have one upstairs and one downstairs. But the downstairs, I have a shark, and the tube came apart and broke. The little accordion looking type tube, and the air won't do suction. It's awful. So I taped it with duct tape as a temporary fix, but it's still not giving the same suction. So I mean, it'll clean just a little bit, but it doesn't have that suction. Yes, I duct taped it. So, but it's just falling apart again. So it was only a temporary fix, and I don't have the money to buy a new shark right this second. So I got to take my one upstairs, downstairs just to clean up the carpet. That's one thing I love about having my business in my own home, though. But I felt so sorry for this lady that came in yesterday. I said, please don't look at my floors. First, I had a leak because in the back garage is where I keep a lot of the inventory. And I had a leak in the roof. So we had to repair it. And I had to cover everything with plastic so it didn't get wet. And now I'm trying to get everything. I had to move a bunch of stuff out of that room because I didn't want mold to set in. So the center of my store, like when you walk in, you'll see a bunch of beer boxes on top of each other. It's hysterical. My setup right now is so freaking funny because the guy that gives me some of my inventory for free, I don't get all of it for free, but some of it I do. Um, he puts it in beer boxes because it's got the handles, to pick it up easier. I had this drunk come in my store. Literally, I mean, he about knocked you out just smelling him. He thought we were having a party when he saw me unloading the beer box. I'm like, that takes a lot of balls to show up in someone's store that you don't even know. Where's the party at? I see these beer boxes. I said, dude, if you can drink books, there you go. I said, his beer box is full of books. And he was like, oh. So thank goodness on my end, I had a free AA book because I handed it to him on the way out the door. I said, dude, have a good read. He says, I should read this. And he smiled and left. So at least he wasn't a crazy drunk. But yeah, unloading beer boxes and he thought I was having a party. Oh, I get all kinds. It's hysterical. Oh, it's funny. I know, I miss Sears. No, I just put plastic over them. I'm putting waste patterns where they're stored. It's a very high humidity room, and crafting wouldn't last in that room. So I moved everything forward. I'm just trying to get that garage emptied because I have, like, sometimes people will bring magazines and things like at the end of yard sales that they don't want. I'm kind of like a hoarder's dump. And in so many ways, but that's okay because I don't have a problem doing stuff with it. But it's just sad because Silverfish and all that kind of stuff, they love paper. So like I've got to get the stuff out of that back room because I'm constantly pulling stuff out there. Like yesterday, that's what I've been doing is I pull a bit in a box at a time. I've been cleaning whatever in them. So I get a surprise every day because I don't know what all is back there. And because they just dump it and I just kept putting them on skids. I mean, they're not on the floor, but I'm still afraid of mold because I've had a couple hardbacks. Of course, I don't know if they came in that condition or if it was because of the garage because I hadn't opened them. But sometimes when you pull the covers off, you'll see dry mold, and I can clean that up. As long as the mold is not in the pages, a book is very easy to clean up. But if it's in the pages, it's done. There's no way you can use that book. So I've got tons of paper, to say the least, because I have torn apart many books that have come through my store because they were falling apart. So I sold some paper packs in my last live sale because of it. And I wanted to let you know too, Metro, I'll be in Patty's stream. She'll be doing a live, I think on the 30th. She's going to be doing her live, so I'm going to test Google Hangouts, but it's going to be a lot of fun because I've never done an hour live stream, sale in her channel. She's got a lot more people because she's a antique picker. Brenda, I don't know if you follow Patty Lang or not, but she has great sales for crafters. That's who I go to when I want crafting supplies. My lives book sales, I enjoy. I probably would have never done it if it wasn't for Patty. She's taught me a lot about doing live sales on YouTube. But, it was a way to really utilize my bookstore. I love it. I love how I have learned so much about paper and textures and just different things from her channel. It's been amazing. She's my favorite vintage picker. She had some issues with her Square. So if you still have not got an invoice, let her know. Because I had the same issue and she was locked out of her Square account and had to go back and fix stuff. She got behind in a lot of orders. And when, I got mine already though. Heck, my order's even here. But yeah, she got behind in a lot. We had to all tell her what happened because she had to redo some. But I just I'm starting to get into deeper in crafting. I love it. I love having fun. I don't know then. Well, she just got back from being out of town too, so but I don't have a problem, but glitches happen. Excuse me, glitches happen. Heck, I'm having my glitch now with freaking Google Hangouts. I'm just glad this worked. This is so different. I just hope I remember how I did it. I can't remember what button I hit to come in this way. Hello? What the heck? Telemarketers. Calling my cell phone. Yeah, Chris, he was drunk. Yeah, I've had that. I've had a couple incidences where you just got to be careful. I remember when I started out, my store was at my two-car garage, and um I had these 3 guys come in one time, and I am across the street from another business, which makes it nicer because people are outside all the time, like, they know something would be up. But I had these 3 guys come in one time, and I felt so bad for this one because I didn't have a bathroom. Now where my store is at now, I do, but at that particular time, I didn't. And they just got back from a restaurant, and he was, saying he had to use the restroom. Well, I'm sorry, but you're not coming in my house. And he was like, "Oh, please, please, please." Like, I said, "No," because I said, "No offense, but I just can't do it." Because there was 3 guys there and there'd been 2 unattended in my store. Do you honestly think I'm gonna leave you with my money cash sitting there in a box? I don't think so. I didn't say that to them, but that's what was going through my mind because you never know if it's a trick, because we have a lot of drug issues here too, and I'm not taking that chance. So I said, "I'm sorry, dude. The worst case scenario, just mess your pants, go home, and take a shower." But there was no way I was leaving that store unattended. So I have run into some issues like that where I'm at now, of course, there's a restroom because I moved it to the bottom of my house. But at the time I couldn't because I had somebody renting my downstairs. So just wasn't feasible. So now that everything's downstairs, it was kind of scattered before, even though my two-car garage, people were shocked when they came in because they're like, "Oh my God." They walked through the door and I had pictures on the wall and all, so you couldn't tell it was a garage. I had the cement floor all painted up real nice and everything looked good. We didn't park our vehicles there, of course. Everything was parked outside, so it was all new and it was great. I had an electric heater and a fan whenever I needed, when the seasons changed and that kind of stuff. But it was nice. People were like, "I would have never guessed this was a garage walking in your door. How nice you have it." So I told my husband, though, I didn't like not having a bathroom because I know that there are some people that suffer from irritable bowel syndrome and things like that. And that is just horrible to have to turn a person away from the restroom when you can't help it. So I told him, I'm like, because I've been in a store before and I've got irritable bowel syndrome, and I know what that feels like to be shopping in like a dollar store or something. They're like, "Oh no, our bathroom's only for employees." I'm like, "You'd be freaking kidding me." So I do know what that feels like, but it's just I can't leave my stuff unattended. So when I went down and I moved it, when my daughter moved out, she was my renter downstairs. When she moved out of the house, I turned the bottom part into a store, which made it a lot easier for me in the first place because our third car garage is where my storage was down there anyways. And then I had to constantly go back there and then come up to the front of the house where now everything's all in one area. And I like it. And plus it has a bathroom and plus it has air conditioning. All right. Thanks for stopping in, Metro. I gotta go too because I gotta get down to the post office. I'm waiting for the mail to come and then I gotta run down and get my other package because they deliver once and then they store it. So that's what I'm gonna do. But thanks for testing out my whatever else I'm using right now. I don't even know what this is. It's just something that I clicked on and it worked. So I'll probably be using this instead of Hangouts. No, not here. You don't, Brenda. Because there's lots of places here that don't have bathrooms. So that's not true for every state. You don't have to have a bathroom. I've never heard of that. But here it's fine because we have one now, so it's no big deal. But there's lots of places here that we go to that's a regular store that don't have bathrooms. They have it for employees, but not the public. But I like where it's at now just because I'm cooler. But I have my state license and they come in and looked at everything and that was not a requirement. My license hangs on my wall. But I do like it. No, you don't have to have one here. Not where I'm at. There's a few stores that don't. Heck, I even watched a store on YouTube that didn't have one here not too long ago. Look up Jeffree Star's what was it? He was doing this thing where he was going into a one-star tattoo parlor and he went into one of the worst, I think it was a dollar store, worst rated or something. And they didn't have a bathroom either and they were fine. Dollar Tree, maybe worst rated Dollar Tree or something like that. I don't know. But he went and knocked on the doors and they were both locked because the girl was saying, no, you don't want to use the bathrooms and they were all locked and they were not open for the public because she refused to give him a key. So there's even a YouTube video that proves it. I can't think of the title of it, but I watched it here not too long and I was laughing. Because he's like, I just want to go see what this bathroom looks like. And he couldn't get in. But it was funny. But the worst rated tattoo one, that was something. That was like creepy. How he went into this tattoo parlor. You just have to watch the video. That was like really weird. Because people were coming out of this tattoo parlors with infections and everything else. And they're not doing anything about it. That's like filthy. So I don't know, but it was crazy. They looked up, I think he looked up the worst rated tattoo parlor on Yelp or something like that. I don't know, but it was really good videos. Something to make you think. But I was like, oh, that's just disgusting. I would never go to a tattoo parlor that caused infections. That's horrible. But anyways, I've got to go because I've got to run down and I got to get my store open for the day. Thanks for coming in, Brenda. It was nice chatting with you. Hopefully I'll get to see you on Patty's stream. And whoever else is in here, there's another person in here too. You guys have a great day. Bye.